Hi, I'm Chaya Hinda from the Jewish Positive Thinking Workshops. I'd like to share with you something about what's possibly one of the most precious gifts that we can give to ourselves. First, I'd like to tell you a story. My daughter, an 11-year-old girl, came home from school one day, a few weeks before Pesach, and her arm was stiff, cold and blue. She couldn't move it, it was painful. I went to the family doctor, he sent me to the orthopedist, maybe it was a bone problem. He said, no, it's not, go back to the family doctor. The family doctor sent me to do some x-rays. We did some x-rays, he said, you know what, I don't know what it is, go to hospital. So we went to hospital, and we stayed around in the hospital for a while. He didn't know what it was. They looked at her arm, they gave us some Tylenol, and after a while, it went away, the blueness went away, the stiffness went away, and they said, go home. I said, okay, I went home. The next morning, she got up, her arm was fine. She went to school, she came home. Her arm was again stiff, blue and cold. I said, this time I'm not going to run to hospital. I'll see what I can do. So I had a friend in the building who does diagnostic kinesiology. And I said, you know what, I'll see what she has to say. So I took it to my friend, and she found out that what my daughter had to do was forgive someone. What does she have to forgive? She's an 11-year-old girl. The previous year, a friend of hers, a couple of friends of hers, had done a playgroup, a pre-Pesach playgroup in our home. I let them use my patio, and they brought over a bunch of little girls, and they charged money, and they made a whole nice playgroup before Pesach to keep the girls busy. And this friend of my daughter's turned out to be a real nasty piece of work. And she bullied her, and she didn't give her share of the money, and she made her do all of the dirty jobs, and basically she really lorded it over her until to the point where I had to say, you know what, I'm ending this playgroup, and you're just going to have to go and find somewhere else to do it and leave my daughter alone, because she was being tremendously nasty and my daughter was really in pain. So the playgroup disbanded, and the girl called up actually before Rosh Hashanah, before Yom Kippur, and asked forgiveness for my daughter, and she gave her forgiveness, and they even played together during the summer. But what happened was, before Pesach, the following year, this girl approached my daughter in school and said, do you want to make a pre-Pesach playgroup this year? And that was the day that my daughter came home with her arm stiff, blue and cold. And so she had to forgive this friend of hers, even though she tried to forgive, and she thought she'd forgiven, but she hadn't been able to forgive. So she had to do the exercise from our workshops to help her to forgive her friend. An 11-year-old girl. She went into her room and she lay down and she imagined herself forgiving this girl. She imagined herself cleaning herself out of all the bad feelings and making peace. The pain, the blueness, the numbness went away and never came back. We learn that the way a person judges, we are judged. If we can bring ourselves to forgive, if we can use all the tools available, such as we teach in the workshops, to forgive, it is a gift to ourselves. We who've been walking this earth for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and maybe we have a grudge against this one, or we have something we need to forgive somebody else for. And it's hard to bring ourselves to forgive. It's hard to be able to forgive. But who knows where we're storing all of this grudge? In our aches and pains all over our body, in our hearts. Our hearts are not a storage for old hurts. And if we want to be healthy and completely vibrant, then we have to learn how to forgive. And if we want to be judged favorably from heaven, then we also have to learn to forgive. Forgiveness is one of the most precious gifts we can give to ourselves. Thank you.